in this coronavirus situation? I think you are all fine. Okay? All of you are familiar with probability. I think you know the concept of probability. Suppose I ask one question. A coin is tossed once. What is the probability of getting a head? It's very simple question. So whenever you want to calculate the probability, you have to write down the sample space. Okay? So when a coin is tossed once, the sample space is very simple. It is H and P. Now my question is, what is the probability of getting a head? So it's very simple. So it is M by N. So in short, it is favorable divided by total. So for favorable for getting a head, there is only one case, 1, and total number of cases is 2. So the probability is half. No problem. If we generalize this experiment, suppose a coin is tossed 3 times, then you can write down the sample space containing 8 sample points, namely H, 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 2, T, T, T. And suppose I ask one question, what is the probability of getting 2 heads? So probability of getting 2 heads means, once again the same formula, that is M upon N, that is favorable divided by total. So in these 8 sample points, there are just 3 sample points which are favorable, in which we are getting 2 heads. So favorable cases will be 2, 3. In total, how many cases? It is 8. So the problem becomes very easy and handy. Once again, I generalize this question. If a coin is tossed 5 times, can you write down the sample space? Okay. How many elements contains in that sample space? I ask you one question. Simple one. If somebody gives the answer that there are 32 sample points when a coin is tossed 5 times, or 5 coins are tossed at the same times, it becomes very difficult to write down the sample space. Then in such scenario, suppose I ask a question that what is the probability of getting 3 heads? So if you use the concept of probability, you cannot drop down the sample space. So in such situation, it is not easy to calculate the probability by using the definition of probability. In such scenario, in statistics, there are certain models. We call them as the models. In your language, there are certain formulae by which we can calculate this probability. And that formula, that model, in such scenario is always called as binomial distribution. Can you get my point? In such scenario, whenever it is difficult to write down the sample space when a coin is tossed 5 times, then if you want to calculate the probability of getting 3 heads, then we can use the binomial distribution. We can also use the definition of probability, but it becomes very difficult. It is very tedious to write down the sample space which contains the 32 elements. So in such scenario, you can use the binomial distribution. Whenever we begin our statistics, we started our statistics with the concept of variables. And I think you also know that there are 2 types of variables, namely discrete, and second one is continuous. Now, this binomial distribution belongs to this discrete type of variable. So, how to write down, how to define binomial distribution? It's very simple definition. Binomial distribution can be defined as a discrete random variable x. Now, I think you know the word discrete. How to define a variable to be a discrete? A variable which takes isolated or particular values. ज्या व्हेरिएबलच्या व्हॅल्यूज या वेगवेगळ्या किंवा सुट्ट्या सुट्ट्या असतात अशाला डिस्क्रीट रँडम व्हेरिएबल म्हटलं जातं. सो डिस्क्रीट रँडम व्हेरिएबल x is said to follow a binomial distribution if its binomial distribution with parameters n and p. Binomial distribution with parameters n and p if its probability mass function. Now this is a new term for you. In short, I tell you that probability mass function is nothing but a formula to calculate the probabilities. Because for SY/BCom level, it's difficult to define probability mass function. So you just remember that it is a formula. So if its PMF is given by probability x is equal to small x is equal to NCX. This is a new term for you. This is called as a combination. So in mathematics there is a chapter combinatorial analysis, and in that one this term is defined. You just remember that NCX, P raised to x, Q raised to n minus x, where x takes value 0, 1, 2 and so on. And you find that the values of x are different, isolated, hence this is a discrete random variable, and is equal to 0 otherwise. This is called as a binomial distribution. In what situation this binomial distribution is applicable? If the three conditions are fulfilled, then in that scenario we can use this binomial distribution. So which are those three? The first condition is each trial either results in success or failure. मगासच एक्झाम्पल घेऊया. A coin is tossed once. Coin toss केल्यानंतर always we get it only two possible outcomes. Namely, we get it either head or we get it as a tail. Suppose a student appears for an examination. We always get it two types of outcomes, whether he has passed or whether he has failed. In which event we are interested, that is we call it as a success. So when just now I took the example of tossing a coin, we were interested in getting the head. So getting a head we always called as a success, while getting a tail is always called as a failure. So first condition is each trial should result either in success or failure. Second condition is probability of success should remain constant for all the n independent trials. जोपर्यंत तुम्ही कॉइन टॉस करत असता तोपर्यंत probability of getting ahead it should remain constant. Suppose you toss a coin only once, probability of getting head is always 1/2. Consequently, if you toss it 2 times, it remains as it is. Even if you toss it for 100 times, probability of getting ahead remains all the times constant. So second condition is also satisfied. And the third condition is there are always n independent trials. What is meant by the word independent? I think you have studied the independent events in probability. That is nothing but the independence. How will you define independence? The occurrence or non-occurrence of the first event does not affect the occurrence of the second event. Then those events are always said to be independent. So all these n trials are independent because once you get it ahead at the first trial, 100% you can't say that in the second trial also we will get it a head. Either you can get it head or tail. So all these n trials are independent. That means all these three conditions are fulfilled. In that situation we can use it the binomial distribution. So when a coin is tossed 5 times, that means there are 5 independent trials. Each trial results in either head or tail. That means both conditions are satisfied. Probability of success means probability of getting a head, that is equal to half. 1/2 remains constant for all the n independent trials. In that situation, if you want to calculate the probability of getting a 3 heads, we can use this formula. For example, same example we can repeat it. Experiment is a coin is tossed 5 times. The question is obtain a probability of getting 3 heads. In this example, your success is getting a head. So probability of success is always 1 by 2. That is, when a coin is tossed once, then getting a head is always 1 by 2. All these three conditions are fulfilled. There are n independent trials, so n is equal to 5. Each trial results in either success or failure, that is namely head and tail. Second condition is satisfied. Third one is probability of success remains constant. So for all the tosses, for all the 5 trials, probability of getting a head 1 by 2 remains constant. So that is, all the three conditions are satisfied. We can use it, the probability, as probability x is equal to 3. That is equal to, the formula is Px is equal to NCx P raised to x Q raised to n minus x. So probability x is equal to 3 means n is equal to 3, P is equal to half, and Q is 1 minus P, that is also equal to half. So the formula is 5C3, P is 1 by 2 raised to 3, and Q is also 1 by 2 raised to 5 minus 3. That is sufficient for you. Henceforth, further simplification is not required for SY BCom level because you don't know how to calculate 5C3. So this much of answer is sufficient for you. So, what is the characteristic of binomial distribution? The characteristic can be defined as like this way. For binomial, write down it like that way. If x follows binomial with parameters n and p, then its PMF is Px equal to NCx P raised to x Q raised to n minus x 0 1 to up to n, Q is equal to 1 minus p, 0 less than p less than equal to 1, and is equal to 0 other way. The mean of binomial is always given by NP, while variance is always given by NPQ. And the peculiar characteristic of binomial distribution is defined as, for binomial, mean is always greater than variance. This is called as the peculiar characteristic of binomial distribution. As far as your syllabus is concerned, whenever the mean and variance of the binomial distributions are given, then how to calculate the parameters. Such type of examples usually occurs in the examination, and such type of examples are required by you to solve in the examination. We can take a simple example. When the mean and variance of the binomial distributions are known, then how to estimate the parameters. For a certain binomial distribution, suppose mean is equal to 5 and variance is equal to 2.5. Obtain the parameters. Simple example. What such type of examples you are going to face in the time of examination? Because how to calculate the combinations you are not familiar, so such type of examples are not expected to come in the question paper. So such type of examples means when the mean and variance of the binomial distributions are known, then how to estimate their parameters. So for that one, I have taken a simple example that for a certain binomial distribution, suppose mean is equal to 5 and variance is equal to 2.5, obtain their parameters. How to obtain their parameters? See, you know that the mean for binomial distribution is NP and variance is always equal to NPQ. Suppose you take the ratio of these two. So like that way, variance divided by mean, that is equal to NPQ divided by NP. So that is equal to, already you know the variance is 2.5 and mean is 5. So it is nothing but half. 2.5 divided by 5. So that is this NP get cancelled. So this implies us Q is equal to half. So if you take the ratio of variance to mean, NP get cancelled, remains Q is equal to, that is 2.5 divided by 5. Simple calculations, you can use it your calcs. So that gives you half. So Q is equal to half, that implies us P is equal to 1 minus Q. So that is equal to 1 minus half, that is also same as 1 by 2. So once you obtain the values of P and Q, you can use it either the formula for mean or variance to obtain the value of P. So very simple is mean. So mean, that is equal to NP, that is equal to, already mean is given to be 5. So that is equal to N is unknown into P we have calculated as 1 by 2. So that implies us N is equal to 10. So whenever the mean and variance are known, you can calculate the values of N and P by such method. How do you calculate it? First take the ratio of variance to mean. So NPQ divided by NP, it is given to be 2.5 divided by 5. So that is equal to half. NP get cancelled, gives you Q is equal to half. So that implies us as Q is equal to half, P is equal to 1 minus Q. That is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2, that is equal to half. You can use the formula of mean and variance. So mean is equal to NP and it is given to be 5, that is equal to N into what we have calculated P as half. So that implies us N is equal to 10. So therefore parameters of binomial distributions are N is equal to 10 and P is equal to, so simple it is. Okay.